All right, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to a new video. It's been a while. I want to make this quick video and talk about really understanding why certain stocks go up, the basis of why certain stocks go up or why any stock really goes up. Um, Number one, they make more money, stock goes up. That's like 99.9% of it. Number two, people just overpay constantly, more and more and more. Price to earnings ratio is all whacked out, and eventually the stock tumbles because people are kind of just buying based off of hype. Um, but for the most part, stocks typically go up, if the company's earnings go up, which is why we've seen a huge spike in Nvidia. And this is actually something I talked about on my Instagram the other day, because I feel like I was just posting a bunch of stuff on my story, not so much on YouTube. And I made this very simple analogy, like very, very, very simple. You'll find this in every single stock book you'll probably read. In this period of Nvidia being 13, 14, 15, 20, whatever, right here, $12, um, their earnings were less, so the stock was less. Nobody used AI in this period until ChatGPT pretty much came out, and then a bunch of people built a bunch of wrappers underneath that. A bunch of other companies started utilizing NVIDIA, and so then their earnings went up. I can guarantee majority of the people, if you're in the US, you're using NVIDIA one way or another. If you use ChatGPT, you're using NVIDIA. Uh, Literally, if you use any AI app on the App Store, you're using this company. And so earnings went up, stock went up. Now that's obviously like pretty straightforward, but it got me thinking about investing into other companies because as we've seen in the last couple of days, we've seen some pretty big gains in the stock market. And it got me thinking about a local company. It's worldwide now, but I'm based out of Seattle, and Starbucks. And I was looking at why this stock has literally, for the last 5 years, gone up to 100, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Like, it really hasn't changed. Like, technically, you could go back to 2019. Like, the stock price hasn't really changed. Let's say you bought a bunch in 2019, and then you're like, I'm going to hold it for 5 years, and it's going to be a long-term investment. Everyone goes to Starbucks. Everyone drinks Starbucks. Amazing. The problem with that is, number one, Starbucks is a physical business, right? They don't make money for the most part unless they're set. Like, the money they make is from their physical locations. Yes, you could say, their coffee from, you go to the store and you buy their coffee, they make money from that. Or there isn't really much you can buy online. Like, there really isn't much you can buy online with Starbucks. For the most part, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but like 90% of their revenue comes from their stores. And so, as we can see, their stock is super low. Obviously, when they first started, still low. And the reason for that is, as they're a physical business, they weren't that expanded in this period. And a lot of their expansion came from this period. Obviously, this is a recession, but all the way up to here. And there comes a point where, if you're a physical location, like I live in Seattle, there's a Starbucks on every corner. Like, there's a Starbucks like right next to my house. Drive 3 minutes more, there's another Starbucks. Drive three other more, there's another Starbucks. How many more Starbucks can they put? You know what I mean? So there's literally a Starbucks on every single corner. And that's why the stock hasn't really moved whatsoever, because how much more can they expand? It's been 30 something years, if not more. They've essentially expanded into every little pocket in the US. Their market is the US. And unless they expand worldwide, which they've tried to in European countries, didn't really work so well, I don't see the stock going that much higher, right? They've essentially expanded in every single pocket. Where else are they going to put a location? Again, I could be wrong, but they make their money off of locations. They make their money off of people coming in, getting coffee, getting whatever the hell they want, and that's how their earnings grew. Now, once you hit a certain point of like, where the fuck else do you put more locations? Good luck, because I don't know where else they're going to put locations. And that's really the point of this video, is like, this stock grew tremendously, amazing stock, but it grew because when they had not so many locations, the stock was lower. If you could have predicted, which I don't know if anyone could have, but that they're going to expand tremendously because it was a good product, then you would have made 100 times your money investing like way down there, maybe even 10 times your money, 20 times your money. So I think that's something that I look at now. It's like, what are businesses that have a lot of room for growth, right? This is market cap is 100 billion, right? Like for it to 10x in price, it needs to go to $1 trillion. I don't know if they can do 10x more locations, or I don't know. Like Starbucks is not a software business, so they can't. The cost of distribution is not zero, right? They still need to build out stores, and it brings me to this one as well, which is a company that I've talked about quite a lot, Oscar Health. And obviously, I don't want you guys to take this video and be like, look, invest in, whatever the fuck I tell you guys to do. Don't do that. This is just examples of like where my head is at. When we look at a company like Oscar Health, their revenue is 5.86 billion. Well, this is 2023, so it's probably a bit higher. Other health insurance companies, United Health Group or UNH, I'm pretty sure theirs is like 200 billion, right? So if you look at a company like this, they certainly have room to 10x, right? As a healthcare company, right? Pretty much most people in the US need healthcare. They have room to grow, right? Healthcare is really universal. Like these people are primarily in the US, but other health companies are, doing revenues of 100 billion, 200 billion. So a stock like this has plenty of room to grow. If we look at a stock like Lucid, right? Like somebody hit me up the other day and they're like, hey, this is when they told me to buy it. And they're like, hey, it's going to go up X amount. That's great, right? But if you look at Lucid versus the competitors like Tesla, it's like comparing two completely different things. It's like, are they going to catch up to the leader, right, in the market? Are they going to catch up to Elon Musk with his 10 other billion-dollar companies? Are they going to catch up to the hype of Tesla, the branding of Tesla, the robots, the self-driving? I don't know. Probably not. So people are like, oh, it's $2. How much lower can it go? Well, it can go bankrupt. Like it can go to zero, right? Like they're negative, right? They're negative. If they don't get more funding, they basically can go bankrupt pretty easily. And so you have to look at these factors that like people have contacted me, hey, this stock is $2. It's a great investment. It's going to do amazing. You should buy it. And the fact of the matter is like, it could be any price. It doesn't matter if it's $2. If it still goes to zero, it's zero. And the company goes bankrupt and your money goes to zero. It doesn't matter what the price is. Another thing you should also consider is kind of what stage of investing I think you're in. One thing a lot of people don't realize is that if you're watching this video, you're probably putting your money into positions that are pretty liquid. But like there are some stocks where like if you put in, obviously I don't think if you're watching this video you're dealing with tens of millions, but if you are, like you're just not going to be able to liquidate all that even if the stock goes up, right? Like not often that happens. It typically happens with bigger companies. Maybe over time you will, but then obviously there's going to be slippage, with smaller companies, smaller market cap companies. So keep that in mind. One thing that I've also been kind of looking into is like smaller cap companies. There's a lot more growth potential, obviously more risk that comes with it. Like we were just talking about this healthcare company, it's easy to invest into NVIDIA, right? Very safe, $4.4 trillion market cap, huge company. They're killing it. Everyone uses AI now. How much room do they have to grow? I don't know, right? Like if they double, it has to be now a $9 trillion market cap. That's kind of a lot. Is that possible? Maybe, right? Because it's not a company where they're just limited to the US market. You know, they can go worldwide. Like literally it's worldwide. Anyone can use it. People worldwide probably use AI, some form of AI. So is that possible? Maybe. But I think the higher returns as you have lower capital, which if you're watching this, maybe you probably do. And I would consider me having lower capital. Like I have 7 figures. That's not that much in the grand scheme of things. Like there are plenty of people dealing with 9 figures in the market, 10, like a lot more. And so with lower capital, I think your capital will probably grow in smaller cap um, companies, but also having them be stable, profitable, not a lot of debt. And that's the biggest thing. Obviously, you can do, safer stuff like this, but either or, it's really up to you. Or just put it in the S&P. But I think um, people forget that if they held it for, I mean, I guess you could say it's up 8 something percent. But I don't know. Like there's people who panicked in here when it dropped, and then it went up another 30% or 27%. So it's really up to you what you decide to invest in. I've seen higher returns in smaller cap companies. Obviously, if you have a lot of capital, less liquidity in these. But I mean, if you're just investing hundreds of thousands or even like a couple of million, you should be fine. Yeah, just figured I'd throw this video out there. If you enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up. I would love to post more videos. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys want to see. And I'd love to speak about it as well. So I will see you guys for the next one. Peace.